Hello? Fly on the wall? Here? Yeah, I'm at the right house. I am. Yep, there she is. She's about to write a post saying how a medical medium didn't work. And she's been doing celery juice for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, we've been watching her. Well, she's doing all kinds of other stuff. Well, the nutritional yeast. She did that yesterday. She did the mushroom coffee every day. Yep. Lots of caffeine. She had 3 slices of vegan pizza filled with oil and a corn crust. Yeah. Stinks in here. Stinks awful. Us fives don't like the smell of this smell in this house. Smells like crap here. Yeah, I smell air freshener, and she's using hair care products that are really bad. Perfume, I smell it. Potpourri, yeah, chemical potpourri. I was just in the wash machine room, and I saw fabric softener in there. Yeah. She ate a chocolate bar this morning, and then she put cacao powder in her smoothie. I know that's not medical medium. I'm a fly on the wall. I know, doing my job. Medical treatment? Yeah, I think so. I see a receipt. I think the new medical treatment. Well, vinegar? Oh, always. She always uses vinegar. Yeah, she was online and she saw the benefits of apple cider vinegar. Just like she saw the benefits of collagen. Just like she saw the benefits of charcoal. Yeah, she's using Corella. I know that's not medical medium, but she said she's doing all medical medium and she's been doing it for years. Yeah. And, yeah, she just puts boxes right on her kitchen counter or puts her hand in her mouth right afterwards. I know. And then when she's sick, it's medical medium causing it. Yeah, I know she caught the flu last year and the year before. And then said medical medium caused it. Yeah. She's writing a post now. Yeah, they sprayed pesticides all around her apartment. She doesn't even know. Just breathes them in. She's writing a post now. She's going to say how medical medium isn't fixing her problems, and she's been doing celery juice for a long time. Okay, we're going to go to the next house, and we're going to find the next person. Okay, all right, I'm going to head to the next house now. All right, I got to go. Okay, all right, bye. You know, that story happens all day, happens everywhere out there. Are you doing the medical medium protocols? No, you're not. You're not doing the medical medium protocols. You're not ripping apart some other dude with their diet out there. You're not ripping apart. I know I'm an easy target. I know it, right? I know it. Easy target. Scapegoat for everybody. Scapegoat. I get it. You know why? Because you can totally be a spiritual racist. Because it's easy to pick on me when you're a spiritual racist. It's really easy because he listens to a voice he hears. All his information comes from there. We can just totally tear into him. We can spiritually discriminate because of it. That's what we can do because he hears a voice. But we're not going to make fun of that podcast doctor that has a stupid diet out. No one's gotten better from it unless that doctor removes, medical medium pieces and puts it into his diet, steals them and puts them in. And then maybe people start getting a little bit better. And, it's like this all the time out there. And I see it all the time. Right, Chris? So, look, let me get these on. Gotta get my wings off, you guys. So what people don't realize, are you doing 16 ounces of celery juice? Did you read the book? Are you doing 32 ounces of celery juice? Are you doing 32 ounces for your condition? What kind of condition do you have? Did you read the true cause of your condition? Do you even understand autoimmune? Do you even know how autoimmune works? How the whole thing is a scam. The whole autoimmune thing is one freaking scam, right down to it. It's one massive scam on everybody. Say they all have autoimmune, say their body's attacking itself. It's one big freaking scam, you guys. Do you know this, right? So, are you understanding about that? Do you know it's not your genes? Do you know you've been scammed with autoimmune? Do you know what's really behind your condition? Do you know why you're really sick? And what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you still doing chocolate? If you're still doing chocolate, hold off that bad post about medical medium not fixing me. If you ate chocolate that month, you should not be writing a post, medical medium information didn't help, if you're still doing chocolate. If you're still doing chocolate, that's fine, but be straight up, be honest, you're not doing medical medium. And you can do little bits and pieces of medical medium, but don't try to tear me a new one when something's not working, because you're doing your nutritional yeast, you're doing your apple cider vinegar, you're doing your chocolate, you're doing your mushroom coffee now because you're high on your coffee, you're doing all your drugs, you're doing all your crap, and you're trying to take shortcuts. But if you want to overcome something that's serious, you want to overcome an illness, you want to actually learn, you want to know why you're sick. You can totally be, yeah, you want to be on your chocolate, but just don't be trying to tear me a new one over it. Because you want to be on your chocolate, and you're on the internet, you're doing all this different stuff, and your supplements that you're getting from your practitioners are filled with alcohol in them and filled with, all kinds of cassia gum and citric acid and everything else. And if you're not doing MM, don't say you're doing MM. Don't say it. If you're doing it partially, say it then. If you're doing just celery juice, hey, I'm doing medical medium celery juice. I'm doing medical medium celery juice, but I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't read his books. I haven't read the new edition. I don't know how the plague works and why everybody stays sick after they have the plague. I don't know the information. This is on sale, Amazon.com. It's insane. It's incredible, by the way. And all these things matter right there. I'm not juicing. I'm buying HPP off the shelf and don't even realize it. There are so many things you guys got to learn about. So many things you need to know. If you want to heal and you want to heal, really heal, you just have to just learn a little bit about it, right? Yeah, Vimergy is really good. I saw that, absolutely. I'm not sponsored by those guys. They're just incredible. The stuff is amazing. And consider how much worse would you be if you weren't doing your celery juice. Consider that. Are you fighting the cuts? You got death by 1,000 cuts right here. Here's the cuts. I got them right here. All right. I got the cuts right here. Here they are. Where's my chocolate bar too? I got the butter. I got the butter in the tray. I got the hot dog right here. I got the ice cream. I got the chocolate right here. I got the nutritional yeast. How many cuts are you doing? I got a lot of cuts right here. And then the vinegar, right? I got all my cuts. I got my chocolate bar. I got my nutritional yeast. I got my butter right here because some asshole convinced me to put butter in my coffee. Like, how smart was that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. When you think about the health industry, how it is, right? And how many cuts am I juggling, man? Like, you got to know how to battle the cuts. You got to know how to battle the cuts, right? And, what perfume am I using? What cologne am I using? How much tuna did I have? What about the sushi, man? What about the sushi right here? I love how people think that's a health food. That's the most ridiculous thing. I had a friend of mine say I'm eating healthy. I'm eating sushi every day. I said, use a dummy. Use a dummy. That's what I said. I said, use a dummy, man. Like a dummy. That's not a health food. You got the vinegar, you got the mercury. You call that health food? You got the mercury and vinegar? You guys call that health food? That's health food. I love when I see influencers out there doing their sushi, and they're convinced somehow that they ate good that day. It's unbelievable to me. But oh wait, medical medium didn't work. Medical medium didn't work. I had sushi twice last month. Medical medium didn't. I had sushi every day last month and medical medium didn't work. How many are you juggling? Are you juggling the ice cream? I don't care if it's a coconut ice cream, vegan ice cream, still going to get you. But you got to counter it. I don't want you guys, look, it's not like I want you guys to be, it's not like I want you guys to be perfect or something. You have to be perfect. I just want you guys to have a chance to really heal if that's what you want. If you guys want to heal, right? I want you guys to be able to heal. That's what it is. Got some butter right here. And then new relationships. It's a whole nother thing there too. New relationships. There's nothing wrong with discovering new people, trying to find somebody in your life. But you have to learn how to counter the new bugs you're picking up. The new bugs that everybody has. All the simplexes everybody has. All the Epstein bars everybody has. All the cytomegalovirus everybody has. I get it. You know, you're falling in love or you want to fall in love and you're looking for the right person. I understand. But if you're not arming yourself for the relationship game, you better be ready. You better be strengthening your immune system. I tell friends that are looking for partners, they're like, well, you know, the divorce was really rough and now I'm looking for somebody, or, you know, I broke up with my girlfriend or I broke up with my boyfriend, right? And I would say, well, what kind of zinc are you on? Because the minute you go out there looking in relationship land, you better have some zinc in your bloodstream, because when you pick up those 2 new Epstein bars and you pick up that new Simplex 1 or that new shingles, you better be able to knock it back before it turns to anything so you can be okay, so you can be strong and not get sick. And people don't get that. They have no idea. You know, one thing about medical medium information, it's straight up, it's real, it's sensible, and once you've discovered, if you can get past the whole thing of where I get all the information, if you guys can get past the whole thing about where I get the information since age 4, right? From Spirit of Compassion. If you can get past that, you got the panacea to getting the things you need all the way down to the bone. Like everything that I've given you guys. All the information that's in the books, and I'm still writing books. I'm writing one now. All the information I'm getting from Spirit of Compassion to make sure you guys get somewhere. Marissa Spiritual says he recommends Vimergy. It's Vimergy, V as in Victor, I, M as in Mary, E-R-G-Y, Vimergy.com. I'm not sponsored, but it's the best stuff there is, and it's the only brand of zinc that I use. HPP is not good. Lemon Balm Love, you're right on. But that's the thing. If you don't know about the HPP, because that's going to hold you back from healing HPP. HPP is going to hold you back. That's that celery juice you think is fresh in the store on the shelf, and it isn't fresh. And it's on the shelf, on the store, and it's not fresh. But you think it is. That's HPP. Everybody gets suckered. Everybody gets screwed over. Everybody gets duped. Everybody gets tricked. Everybody just gets totally thrown. And all these things happen, right? And so the whole thing about how do we battle this stuff? Why do I play around with the juicer? Why do I do that? And anytime I've heard any practitioner, healer, doctor, health guru say you don't need to juice, I can't even believe my ears. Can't even believe my ears. Wait till they get sick someday. Their ass will be juicing. They'll be juicing. They will be juicing. I love it when the dietitians and nutritionists and the different doctors and functional medicine doctors all say you don't need a juice, or, oh, that's cute, you're juicing. Oh yeah, I've been there, done that, people juice, you don't need the juice, you're losing all the fiber. Yeah. Tammy says, had an impersonator contact me yesterday saying it was you, and I reported it. I heard I would have an impersonator actually calling me any second. But it's just on schedule, Anthony William, medical medium. Huh? You just said Anthony William Medical Medium. Who is this? You're not Anthony William. You're not the medical medium. I'm the medical medium. I'm Anthony William, the medical medium. You're a medical medium? You're not medical medium. I'm medical medium. Who are you? I'm an impersonator? I'm not the impersonator. I can't impersonate myself. I'm the medical medium. You're not the impersonator, but you're the medical medium? How did you get this number? I'm hanging up on you. You got to report those impersonators. I am a practitioner. I tell everyone to juice exactly like you do. Incredible, incredible. Because you're doing them a justice. And look, I don't care what juicer somebody uses. I know this is the MM900 HDS, Anthony Williams juicer, blah, blah, blah. It's not my juicer, by the way. I'm working with the company, and I'm supporting them, and they get my full endorsement on this juicer. And yeah, I'm working with them, yes. But I don't own the juicer company. I don't have stake in the juicer company. Like, I don't have share. I'm not a shareholder of the juicer company. But just so you know, like this juicer, the MM900 HDS, is an herbal extractor. You wouldn't believe what I just juiced on YouTube. I had a ball of fiber this big for all the juice. It was insane. I actually thought my juicer completely, totally tricked me out like something. It went 2.0 from its already 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Couldn't even believe it. So the whole thing, you guys, is we got all these things we're up against. We do it all the time. And how many things are you doing to retaliate? And like I said before, if you see out there someone say you don't need the juice, that shouldn't be part of your protocol. It's critical. If you want to heal, it's critical. If you want to heal, so important. Yeah, Glorious Balance says the first rule is to get a juicer someday. I think, and if you don't have a juicer, then we do the medical. We can still do the medical medium tools. We can still do the medical medium tools. We can still do the heavy metal detox smoothie, which is critical, right? We can still do other things. We can still get rid of the troublemaker foods, milk, cheese, butter, eggs. But we're up against so many of these things, and just when you guys think you got it down, you're ended up in the world of tanking too much fat. So now you're tanking too much fat and you're eating too much fat. Just when you think you got it all figured out and you're like, well, I'm having my lean proteins. I'm going to have my lean proteins. I'm going to have my healthy salmon. I'm going to have my hard-boiled egg on my salad. I'm going to have my lean chicken, and which is okay if that's what you guys want to do. But if we're really sick and we're really down and out and we can't get rid of those symptoms, we got to bring down the fats. And if you're plant-based, you think you got it all sewed up. When you're plant-based, when you're vegan and you got it all sewed up, you don't until you bring down the fats and then bring in the tools. The one thing about medical medium information is it blew the roof. First of all, 35 years of this and teaching about living foods. 35 plus years teaching about living foods so people can go raw. Teaching people in the health movement to go raw when no one was. Teaching people in the health movement 35 years ago to go raw. You know, all these things, right? I'm surprised about the nutritional yeast. All these healthy vegan doctors say it's a healthy choice and substitute. But that's exactly it. See, that vegan doctor, that famous vegan doctor, just totally screwed you over. Totally screwed you over with misinformation. Misinformation. Nutritional yeast is an epic disaster and will stop you from healing. And of course you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised, 100% surprised. Because why would that famous vegan doctor give me the wrong info? Shouldn't he or she know? Just so you know, the vegan doctors going all the way back, they did not believe, none of them believed in one pathogen. They didn't believe that you had strep. They didn't believe that you have Epstein-Barr. They didn't believe in any pathogen. Now, all the vegan doctors are totally stuck right now. And they have to all start believing in viruses for the first time because of the whole plague that just happened just now. And now they're talking about Epstein-Barr for the first time in their life. Now they're talking about, and you need to know, the vegan doctors didn't have the answers. They're either all high fat or if they're not eating high fat, they know nothing about antiviral protocols whatsoever unless they've taken it from medical medium information. This is what I see out there every day. And I have, or they'll talk low fat or something, but it won't be enough. It won't be enough. I have doctors contact me all the time and say, you know that the cool thing about you is you got the tools to get everybody out of that pit, to get the vegan doctors out of that pit if they steal your tools, to get the non-vegan doctors out of that pit if they steal your tools and not cite it back. You have the info to get people further and further along, but there's so many of those pitfalls, the knives, the daggers, and you're looking at one right there, nutritional yeast. And so exactly, your vegan doctor people out there are going to be like, yeah, you can do nutritional yeast. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Exactly. And it's not fine. It's going to hold you back. And unless you're doing something to counter it, to counter the MSG, the fake B12, the synthesized B12, meaning not just synthesized, the wrong B12, MSG and the wrong B12, nutritional yeast tears up your intestinal lining. It tears it up. So anything you're doing good for yourself, your nutritional yeast is tearing up the intestinal lining. So it's a fight where you're doing bad and good. You know why people don't get better? There's this war inside of them of bad and good because of all the missing. First of all, they don't have the missing pieces that are critical. So what little good they're doing is not even helping against all the bad they're doing, right? There's this war internally happening. Details matter to healing. Details matter to healing. Fermented foods will stop you from healing. Fermented foods. I love how you guys were all tricked on fermented foods and still are every single day. But I get it. A lot of people in the industry invested in fermented foods, so they're going to make sure you're on fermented foods. But I love how everybody was tricked by fermented foods. Fermented foods was just a survival method back hundreds and hundreds of years ago because no one had refrigeration, nobody had electricity. When your garden gave its last round of vegetables in your garden to keep your village alive, everybody had to gather all their cabbages and gather all their root vegetables and gather all their stuff, what greens they had left. They'd gather them and they had to stick them in vats and let them putrefy because they had to eat them putrefied or they would die or starve during the winter. Fermented food was only as a survival tactic to keep you alive so you didn't die in the middle of a winter, cold winter, somewhere in some village, somewhere, some civilization on this planet. So you guys get tricked. Oh, it's an ancient thing. Well, ancient things aren't always good for us. I can name a whole bunch that are ancient. They're terrible for us. Okay? Chinese medicine was all mercury. It's all mercury. Emperors used to take mercury. They used to die from mercury poisoning. Okay? So the whole thing, doctors in Western medicine, it was all mercury elixirs. Like we've had made so many mistakes that were hundreds of years old and thousands of years old. And one of the big mistakes, again, is the fermented foods. Huge mistake. If you don't believe me, fine. That's fine with me. When you're sick and you can't heal and you're dabbling in medical medium and then you want to say you did medical medium and you're not getting better, you remember the fly on the wall because the fly on the wall got your number. And the fly on the wall knows you're doing your fermented food last week. You're doing your kombucha tea. You're doing your green tea with caffeine, which isn't fermented, but there is fermented, versions of it now. You're doing your caffeine. You're doing your nutritional yeast. You're doing your butter and your coffee. You're doing something else told you to do. You're doing your charcoal. You're doing your colostrum. You're doing your collagen, which is really toxic on the body when you eat collagen. You're doing all that. And then because medical medium is so well known out there in the world and well known in two ways, right? Well known because people spiritually discriminate against them because he hears a voice and they spin spiritual racism against him. That's one way you know him. So he's an easy target, right? You can easily just throw him under the bus. Why not? Throw him under the bus. It's a good, and you're doing your bone broth, which is so toxic on the body. It's a steroid. And you use vinegar in the bone broth. You're doing all these things. And you're dabbling in medical medium. So it's easy to be like, let me just say, I did a medical medium and it didn't work. Meanwhile, you didn't do all the supplements and the dosages. You didn't go through the supplements and the dosages in the books. You didn't learn what was causing your problem. You didn't even understand anything about autoimmune and how autoimmune works. You didn't do your supplement protocols. You used the wrong supplements on top of it, okay, with alcohol and everything else in it. You didn't read the vast knowledge, medical textbooks in here. You didn't do that. You're still eating pork. You're still eating buddy, okay? And you're acting like one of these out there, right here. You're acting like one of these. You're like a sheep. I'm going to do some nutritional yeast now. Yeah, everybody else is doing it. I'm just going to keep on doing Let me do some more nutritional yeast here. More nutritional yeast. Yep, the sheep are going to keep on doing it. More nutritional yeast. More nutritional yeast. I'm going to be a sheep. I want to be a sheep. So what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get the new medical treatments. Let me get the new antibiotic. Let me get the brand new antibiotic. We're going to keep on doing it. So, no one's held accountable. None of the science people held accountable for every mistake they screw up every single month. No one's held accountable for the hundreds of millions of dollars that are going into the stupidest scientific programs. Why homeless are sprawled out on the streets dying. You know what science has done? Science has completely forgotten humanity. It's the most cold-hearted, evil giant that's completely forgot humanity. Completely forgot humanity. That's what science has done. And then it gets indoctrinated into the schools, or you go to your universities, it's all science is God, science is God. Meanwhile, they take hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, and they put it into scientific studies that never even leave the gate. Or if they do leave the gate, they're toxic for people. And then you got homeless people all around the world dying. You have families and children living in tent cities right now. And they'll give $300 million to study the effects of caffeine. $300 million. To why you should eat your caffeine. And they'll leave all these children in tent cities in squalor in the country, in the US alone. Science is heartless, downright heartless. And you know, we're just sheeped into it, sheeped into every last bit of it. And it's incredible. You know, science pays for all the science trolls. Did you guys know that? Did you know that? You know that there's certain dudes on the internet, I won't name their name, I won't give them any credit for their evilness. Certain dudes on Instagram, right? And they're actually plants. So what Big Pharma does is they're a doctor, and Big Pharma, what they do is they give them access to thousands of science-based trolls that are paid to do their job to attack. And they'll send them to medical medium accounts. They'll do all this stuff like. And this is just science is actually heartless. It doesn't matter if you heal. It doesn't matter if you know how to heal and you learn the real answers and you know how to heal. They just want, and the alternative medicine world, they're getting just as bad. I'm just going to tell you right now, just as bad, right? I'm a vegan doctor. I'm a vegan doctor. Let me get people to have more nutritional yeast. Of course you can have nutritional yeast. Go ahead, good little sheep. Good little sheep. I'm a vegan. I'm a famous vegan doctor, author. Yeah, follow all my scientific studies. I'm a vegan doctor. What do I know about pathogens and people sick and everything? I never got one person better with chronic fatigue syndrome. Get all the people to have lots of nutritional yeast right here. Good job. Good job. It's unbelievable. It really is. You know, the bottom line, Danielle says, you're the best. People don't like hearing the truth. Health is important. So, you guys have to realize, my naturopath said medical medium is the answer. Honored, truly honored. Incredible, incredible. So, with info, right? because it comes from above, you can minus the stupidity. I'm going to tell you guys right now, medical medium information has never been proven wrong yet in history. But all the other stuff in alternative health gets proven wrong over and over again. Just gets proven wrong. Medical medium info has never been proven wrong yet by science, never been proven wrong by any other science, never been proven wrong by any vegan famous doctor, never been proven wrong. And it's consistent. Medical medium information is consistent for 35 plus years and only been proven right. So medical medium information, just so you guys know, if you ever want to tell anybody, medical medium information is the only information that's been proven right. It's always been consistent. It's never contradicted itself. Every single podcast doctor out there, they say something every year that's different. They contradict themselves every 2 years. They try to rewrite what they're doing and contradict each other, and they do it's insane. My MD has your books, recommends info from it. Incredible, incredible. Because it's sensible. It's sensible. It's advanced and sensible, right? You don't listen to the lies. Listen to medical medium information instead. So you guys, we're live on IG, we're live on TikTok, we're live on Clubhouse right now. Okay, we are. Science is not evil. The capitalists that fund it for the gains are. Here's how it works, okay? It's not just capitalists that fund it. That's not it at all, right? It's more than that. It's weaponized. So yeah, you got capitalists that fund science, but you got evildoers. Yeah, but they're not really capitalists, but you got evildoers that fund science too. They're just grandfathered wealth, old money, right? You got old money that actually funds science too. Then you got capitalists that fund science, not true, right? But for their own gain of something that they want to prove, right? But it's more than that with science. Science is even more than that. It's dirtier, it's nastier, and so science is not, like, we don't have science anymore that's looking out for the people. It's not looking at, that's rare and far and few, because the minute it starts to work in a good way or head to a good direction, it gets stopped. So that's another thing that happens all on its own. So science is it's overrated now too. It's set up where it's been weaponized. That's another thing. Science is weaponized. It's actually a weapon now. Oh, what does science say? Well, that's funny, because science doesn't even believe in science. Did you guys know that? You can put out some science and have scientific study done. It'll be completely discredited in a minute. You can spend $100 million on a scientific project. It'll be discredited in 5 seconds. Science hates science. Like, conventional science doesn't think food helps you. You guys know that. Conventional science believes that food doesn't even do anything for anybody. So what science is everybody listening to? It's all pseudoscience. Conventional science believes all alternative science is pseudoscience. So every time someone cites something, like they'll be like, cite that scientific study done by that article by Dr. John somebody, and cite that study there. Meanwhile, it's pseudoscience to conventional science. Some other doctor would be like, that's not even real science. So what is real science? What is everybody even citing anymore? They're citing articles. They're citing papers. They're citing just anything on the internet and saying, here's a study, when it's not even a study. They've weaponized the term science at this point. That's what they've done. But I will tell you one thing. They're going to weaponize it to such a degree that they're going to want to take away more freedoms, and that's what they're going to want to do. So I'm always like, well, what can we do to battle the bad all the time? Well, one thing is juicing. That's critical. Keep yourself healthy. Keep yourself strong. Right there. Also know like, your results matter. When you're healing, it's real when you're healing. So when you're healing, it's actually real. Don't let anybody tell you didn't heal. Don't let anybody tell you that you didn't heal your eczema, you didn't heal your psoriasis, that you didn't heal your rosacea, that you didn't heal your fatigue, or you didn't heal something. Don't let anybody tell you that you didn't heal. And keep that in mind too, because your healing story is so powerful, because that's above science, if you guys want to know. That's above science. no one even dreamed of in the universities when they're doing peer-reviewed studies on 10 individuals that sign up for the study, and they're giving them something, and 3 individuals exhibit maybe a little benefit, but then it disappears. And they're like, whoa, eureka, we discovered something. The other 7 doesn't. You know what here's what real science is. Tens of thousands of people reversing their conditions, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, vitiligo, brain fog, fatigue, reversing their conditions and symptoms, tens of thousands, and going into the hundreds of thousands now, and now into the millions around the world with medical medium information. That's real science. Real science is people healing. Instead of a university hoping to God that 1 person out of 100 improves with some stupid new drug. You know, it's pretty amazing how it works. What about the lives saved by science? That's a different form of science. That's not chronic illness science. That's not chronic illness science. That's science of creating a fibrillator. An afibrillator. That's science that created, that's technology, that's math. See? You know the robots that they use to get an aneurysm out of somebody's brain? That's technology. That's nuts and bolts holding the arm of the robot together and a computer chip. So that's actual technology. That's a machine. Just so you know. And we have advanced in surgical procedures. That's why we can change parts. You can change a part out. You know, you can cut somebody's lung out, a piece of their lung out. You can cut a lower lobe out, is what you can do. That kind of science is amazing. I've always said that. I'm not anti-science. It's just it's gone to a place that's a whole nother it's a whole nother thing. What if you want to fix a real problem, though? If you want, and you can't fix it with a surgical procedure, what about the hundreds of millions of people sick with chronic illness every single day? What about the babies suffering? Where's science on that one? Right? Where's science on that one? So all these things matter. I'm not anti-science. It's just that it's thrown around and weaponized right now, is what it is. It's weaponized. Meanwhile, they're always wrong. They're always wrong. And if you got 43 symptoms, where's science now? If you got 50 symptoms, where's science now? If you got 100 symptoms, where's science now? It's just, where is it? When we were just on YouTube and Facebook right before this, Kelsey Bach was on there, amazing person. She healed 43 symptoms with medical medium information. She says it in her comments all the time. I think it's 43 symptoms. And she healed that many symptoms. So many other people have healed 40 symptoms, 20 symptoms, 10 symptoms, 100 symptoms. Alyssa Degati healed 100 symptoms, you guys. You know, Alyssa Degati that was on here singing her songs. She healed 100 symptoms. And science wasn't involved in any of it. Wasn't involved in any of it. Paid for science that wasn't biased. And part of it is knowing what to do, you guys. Knowing what to do. I said, if people can't reach their goals, they're still stuck on a vice and they can't reach their goals. We got to somehow get them off of the vice if they want to reach their goals. If people want to learn what's going to keep them down, perfume and cologne destroys our immune systems. B12 shots, HD Torres, I would never, ever get a B12 shot personally. You do what your doctor tells you, but which is fine. Do what your doctor did. I will never, ever in a million years get a B12 shot in a million years. You couldn't pay me enough. Well, I don't work that way anyway. It's, you know, if that was how I worked, I would just come out with medical medium, everything, merchandise, and be a billionaire tomorrow. When 10 million people buy my program for, you know, $300 a piece or whatever, $3,000 a piece, be a billionaire tomorrow. So I don't work on a money basis anyway. I work it's about the chronically ill and also getting enough to pay my bills to give the chronically ill all the free information I possibly can. That's how I live my life. Is how can I stay alive to actually help the chronically ill and give them everything for free? All these details matter. Here's the detail about B12. I'll just give you this. You couldn't give me $1 million tomorrow to take a B12 shot. Couldn't give me $1 million to take a B12 shot. You do what your doctor tells you. Doctor tells you to get a B12 shot, you get a B12 shot. I personally You can pay me $5 million and I wouldn't take a B12 shot. Yeah, just letting you know. There's preservatives in there. That's different than intravenous. That's different than intravenous than like vitamin C intravenous, or getting a multivitamin intravenous or something. That's different. That's in the vein. I'm talking about a shot on the outside of the body. I tell people, and I've taught doctors this for years, B12 shots on the outside of the body, not in the vein, but on the outside of the body, okay? And then you pump that B12 in. Whatever preservative is in that B12 shot, including the B12 itself, and it goes in from a place where the body sees it as, when you inject B12 on the outside of the body, and I've talked about this in podcasts years ago, the body sees it as an enemy, because it went in illegally. The body doesn't, when you put things in your mouth, like a B12, that's the Vimergy B12 right there. So it's the one that I use, and one I recommend family and friends and doctor friends. That's the Vimergy, V as in Victor, IMERGY.com. I'm not sponsored by these guys. When you use orally, that's entering your mouth like legally to your body. Your body sees that as an okay warranted access. So your body sees that as a warranted access. But when you enter your B12 through a needle through the outside of the body, and it's not intravenous, your body sees that as an unwarranted action. And you can become sensitive to the B12 and any preservatives that went in you. But IVs are okay. It's different. And that's why I don't recommend B12 shots. Every now and then a family member will reach out. A distant family member will reach out I haven't talked to in years, like a cousin or something. They'll reach out and be like, I'll be like, hey, AW, what do you think about the B12 shots? Because I'm going to get a B12 shot. I'm like, I wouldn't do it. Couldn't pay me $5 million, $10 million to get a B12 shot. And because I don't want to have anything enter from the outside of my body that can get my body triggered and get sensitive. B12, you don't want to do that. B12. I've had people ask me, the doctors ask me and say, what do you think about antibiotics through injecting, through a shot, like antibiotic. What do you think about that? I say, no, take it orally. I tell doctors, give your patients the antibiotic orally. That's what I tell doctors. Don't give them the antibiotic through a shot. Give them an antibiotic orally. That's what I've told doctors all these years. Guess I talk about this in old podcasts. I've talked about this in old lectures before. And I've told doctors that the antibiotics, you want to do the antibiotics orally. I've said this for years. Because the body sees it safe when it comes through your mouth. When it's boom, you take it this way. You guys, I'm supposed to be juicing. But this is good stuff though. This is good stuff. You guys, the sale's over in like a couple of days. If you don't have the MM900, it's something you might want to consider someday. It's $82 off. It's $82 off. It's 25% off. It's this Memorial Day sale, but they extended it for like 1 or 2 more days, and then that's it. Just letting you guys know. Just letting you know. And so that's my concern. I'm just letting you guys know there. So when it's B12, it's oral. If you're in a situation, you got the worst UTI ever, you don't know medical medium information, you haven't consumed enough celery juice, gotten rid of your dairy products, gotten rid of your eggs, you get the worst UTI, or say you're somebody, you catch a new strep, you're discovering a new relationship, and you pick up a strep in your new relationship, you fall in love, and now you got somebody else's strep, and you got a UTI, and it's really bad, and you're stuck, and you got to get an antibiotic. I completely understand. And now it's like, okay, well, you need that antibiotic because you're in a position where it's so bad. And I always tell doctors, you do the oral antibiotics. You don't do, boom, you don't do this kind of antibiotic. It's the oral antibiotic. You don't do this kind of antibiotic right here. You don't go that kind. That's what I was saying. And IVs are different. Intravenous vitamin C, intravenous antibiotics is different, I'm just telling you. That's in through the vein. When you go in through the vein, the body doesn't see it as an enemy. Doesn't see, as an enemy. Anyway, this is the MM900 HDS. It's the last couple days for the sale. It's $82 off. Why is this any different than any other juicer? You guys, I've showed you. The pulp comes out dry. I've saved money, and it's paid for itself over and over and over again. I'm not buying the cases of celery I used to have to buy. And it took a while to adjust. Like I would buy the usual. I'd go to the grocery store or whatever, right? I'd get 2 cases of celery. And when I got the juicer, I was still buying 2 cases of celery because I was scared I would run out. And then all of a sudden, I was backed up with celery. Why am I backed up with celery? Now I have too much celery. So then I had to stop buying celery. And I realized the juicer paid for itself. Boom, paid for itself. It was like the best investment I ever made. It paid for itself. And then the crazy thing is, the MM900 HDS paid for itself again. A month later, paid for itself again. A month later, paid for itself again. A month later, paid for itself again. I have never seen that with any other juicer. I don't care whose juicer it is, where the juicer is. I've never seen a juicer pay for itself over and over and over and over again. It's just unbelievable. Organic Field said, I totally agree. The juicer is amazing. It's the MM900 HDS. Ingy said, love you, MM. I'd be gone without you here. Look, Ingy, I'm so glad you're here. Honestly, so glad you're here. An amazing human being. OmegaJuicers.com, that's where the sale is, though. It's not on Amazon, I'm letting you guys know. The sale's not on Amazon. Clubhouse, you guys, it's not on Amazon. It's at OmegaJuicers.com, that's where it's at. And it's the MM900 HDS. If you get the other juicers that look like it, then it's the wrong juicer. Just letting you know. But listen, use any juicer you want. It's a medical tool. If you have this juicer that's not great, it's not squeezing out all the juice, it's still a medical device. Your juicer's a medical tool. It's a medical device. That's what your juicer is. You got megajuicers.com. It's the MM900 HDS. It's better than the MM800 HDS. Yes, see what you hear? Yes. It's because that one doesn't squeeze all the juice out, but it's still a good juicer, but it doesn't. This is the celery juicer, and you can juice anything with it. So I'm juicing right now. What I love about celery juice is can you explain again what time do you drink the celery juice and how many ounces a day? Look, I drink it in the morning on an empty stomach. That's what I tell people they should do. They should drink it in the morning on an empty stomach. So that's important. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you guys how it works. Why someone's eczema does get better. Why somebody's psoriasis gets better. How come somebody's rosacea gets better. So I'm going to show you in a little bit. I'm going to demonstrate in a couple minutes. Look, I do 32 ounces on an empty stomach. You might be somebody that starts with 8 ounces and you work your way up. You get to 16 ounces. You have this Kathy GT says, I love the juicer. It hasn't let me down, the juicer. I love it because it's not metal on metal. Someone was just trying to throw this other juicer in my face the other day and saying, you know, and it was more of an expensive juicer, right? It's more expensive than this juicer. And it was cold pressed. And they were trying to throw the juicer in my face, saying how it's better than this one or something. Funny thing is, it wasn't. This pulp was dry, their pulp wasn't. But here's what was funny about it. They had metal gears. There's metal gears touching each other in the juicer. I've seen that with a lot of juicers. They got all this metal winging around, swimming around. It's all this metal. And it's like, okay, let me just get all those little tiny those metal particles in my body for the next 20 years with my juicer. Does that defeat that just defeats the purpose. That's crazy. But yeah, you can use any juicer. I'd still rather have you use whatever juicer you have. Yep. So, yeah, celery juice is amazing during pregnancy. Celery juice is great during pregnancy. I mean, do what your doctor, if you're pregnant, do what your doctor tells you. Your doctor doesn't want you on celery juice, don't be on celery juice. Your doctor doesn't want you on celery juice. But for pregnant friends that come to me, what is the name of the juicer? Carrie? Oreo? It's Omega. OMEGA, OmegaJuicers.com. That's where the sale is. It's $82 off right now. It's $82 off, 25% off. OmegaJuicers.com. The name of the juicer is the MM900 HDS. If you don't get the MM900 HDS, you don't have the juicer, and then you won't be able to see, how this pulp's coming out so dry, it's ridiculous. I had the runs for 9 months. I'm finally regulated. I love this juicer. Incredible, incredible. All these things matter. Now that's real science in chronic illness. That's real science. It's called results. Getting rid of the runs, getting rid of problems. So you guys, the runs come from, if you get runs from celery juice, the celery juice is killing off all the bad bacteria. That's what it's doing. So I'll show you that too in a little bit. I'm going to move the juicer over a little bit. See right by these donuts? Let me move these donuts out of the way. Okay. So in this container, which I've never seen with any juicer yet, right? This is crazy, right? And it's dry, and that's all the pulp I have right there. That's it. And it's dry to the bone. And it's the MM900 HES that does this. Now, what's incredible, if I press this pulp, if I actually press it, just press it, right? Squeeze it into a little ball, right? It's dry. That's all the pulp. You got to look at that right there. In my 2 fingers right here, this is actually freaking me out today. Because it's even like 4.0. It's already 2.0. But I'm holding a little ball. This wasn't a magic trick. You guys just saw that, right? It wasn't a magic trick, okay? I just juiced. I have this tiny ball of dry pulp in between my fingers. Seriously, Ashley Kivens, right? Is that crazy? Right? Janelle says that's unbelievable. Am I right? Soul Pedal says it's the best juicer ever, right? In here, just so you know, in here, it's dry. It's just dry. Yeah. And now what that means is that I don't need 3 cases of celery, 2 cases of celery anymore for me, and I do 32 ounces a day, sometimes 40 ounces, sometimes 60 ounces, right? Now it's like that's being cut in half for me. And I've been into juicers. Been into juicers since I was a kid. Jack LaLanne juicer, going all the way back. Anything, any kind of juicer in the 80s or early 80s, any kind of juicer. I've been into juicing since I was a little kid because Spirit of Compassion told me it's one of the most powerful healing tools. And this juicer by far, for the price point and being a cold pressed juicer, never seen anything like that. Just letting you know. You guys, I'm just getting something real quick. Just bear with me. It's not a prop either. I just need this to pour the juice. Are the other juicers on the website fine as well? This one is a bit expensive. Look, if it means you can't, it's like this. If it means you can't juice at all and you have to go with a less expensive juicer, I totally understand. But this one's $82 off on the megajuicers.com. It's the MM900 HDS. It's $82 off. It's a sale right now. And what happens is that it pays for itself over and over again. So my recommendation would be, if you're going to buy a juicer anyway, save up to get the right one so that you can save money in the long haul. If you still buy a juicer and it's still expensive, even though it's cheaper than this one, you're going to be then losing money in your juice. The juicer's not going to pay for itself, and that's money that could have been saved and then paid for itself. You see, so, but yeah, of course, go with anything you need to go with. Go and find a used juicer. Do whatever you can out there in the world to, to get juice in you. Totally understand. I mean, but that's what I would do. I would just wait. I would wait is what I would do. But you can, use any juicer. Any juicer, of course, you can use any juicer. Okay? You have to strain your celery juice, by the way. You have to strain it. It's important. You've got to strain it. What do you have out there, you guys? What's plaguing you guys? What do you guys have out there? You got eczema? You got psoriasis? Vitiligo? The straining step is necessary. It is. You got to get the fiber out. You can't have the fiber. It's an herbal extraction. That's how herbal medicine works, especially in this case. With any juicer, you're gonna have 10 times more to strain with all the other juicers. There's gonna be more to strain. You still have to strain it. Doesn't matter what juicer it is. You've got to strain it because it's herbal medicine. It's an herbal extract, you guys. What's plaguing you guys out there? Seaweed Hero, thank you for saying that. MM900 HCS is a medical device. HCS, yeah. What's plaguing you guys out there? Yanari says alkaline water is disastrous. Alkaline water. Manufactured alkaline water is the worst. It just is. Alkaline ionizer water machines are an epic disaster. A pyramid scheme and an epic disaster. The metal plates in the alkaline ionizer water machines corrode and leach over time. It's one of the worst contraptions ever made in alternative health. I don't care what brand it is. It's one of the worst contraptions. If all you got from here, from Medical Medium, was just that piece of advice, it's worth the price of admission, even though Medical Medium information is all free. It's worth the price of admission to just for that one tidbit, that one critical tidbit. You guys have no idea how critical that is. TMJ, Sweets 1130 on IG says TMJ. So let's talk about that. You got TMJ bugging you? So TMJ was trigeminal neuralgia. Not just the stiffness of the jaw, not just that, not just the grinding of the teeth, like real trigeminal pain, cranial nerve issues, fascial nerve issues, the cranial nerve issues, right? That's viral issues. We talk about that in the Medical Medium books. One of the books that completely changed trigeminal neuralgia around in the world right now with doctors is this Medical Medium new edition that millions of these books got around the world. My electric tea kettle has a metal bottom. That's different. Just as bad as the water machine. No. Your electric tea kettle's great. That's not an ionizer, and it's not the same thing. Metal can touch your water. That's different. It's a whole different conductor. It's a whole different issue. What they do in the alkaline ionizer water machines is they throw electricity to these metal plates to change the structure of the water. They kill the water, and your tea kettle doesn't change the structure of the water or kill the water. And therefore, the current going into the metal is not the same. It's not the same. The metal plates in the water ionizers, the water runs past them after they've been charged. It's to change the chemistry of the water. It's disastrous, an epic disaster. The plates corrode. I don't care what brand it is. So if you're dealing with TMJ, you got to look at this, okay? So you got your trigeminal nerves, okay? Got your trigeminal nerves, right? 4 types of... I was in a wheelchair. Kazi reacts, says, I was in a wheelchair and then used a walker for a year before I began the medical medium protocols. Now I walk on my own. Thank you so much, Anthony. Kazi, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Truly amazing. So proud of you. You're obviously a really smart human being because you're doing you read the books and you're doing the protocols, and you're obviously highly intelligent. You're seasoned. You've been there. You've done that out there. You probably tried a lot of stuff. I'm honored you're here, part of the medical medium community. By the way, the medical medium community is the smartest community in alternative health there is out there. I'm just going to tell you guys are. You guys are the smartest community out there. You have the most advanced information. You've learned to weed through the potholes and the BS and the games. You've tried the musical chairs. You guys have been real sick in your life. You guys know. And the medical medium community by far is the smartest community out there in alternative medicine. You guys are the most spiritual. I don't care who says they're spiritual now at this point. Totally done with it. People get it. People go into yoga class, they're doing a meditation, they think they're spiritual, but then all of a sudden they don't want to trust the medical medium information because it comes from above, because it comes from a voice you hear since age 4, and instantly they're like, oh, that can't be right. Oh, I thought you were spiritual. Obviously, you guys are the most spiritual people out there, and you've been through a lot, you're seasoned, and it's incredible. It's incredible. So the trigeminal nerves, okay? Those cranial nerves right there, they get inflamed from the shingles virus. So the shingles virus, showing you the shingles virus right there. Shingles virus. And the shingles virus creates a neurotoxin. That neurotoxin inflames the trigeminal nerves. Simplex 1, the fever blister virus, the cold sore virus, that also can contribute into trigeminal neuralgia. Now your celery juice, right here, your celery juice, has the sodium cluster salts. So when you drink your celery juice, right? When you drink your celery juice, put a little C, your celery juice, you're drinking these sodium cluster salts, which is this little solar system with sodium in the middle, and the trace minerals, the subgroup of sodium, which are these trace minerals right here. That sodium cluster salt, when you drink your celery juice, it slowly starts to destroy the shingles virus or the herpes simplex 1 virus. Breaks down the membrane on the virus, and then your trigeminal neuralgia and your cranial pain and your migraines on the back of your head, everything starts to dissipate. But you might be somebody where it's a little bit more stubborn. You got a little bit more toxic heavy metals. You got a more difficult variety of shingles that have been there a long time. Maybe you have 2 simplex 1s and you don't know about it. And you're pretty bugged up. Well, then it's now you take it to the next level. You're doing your celery juice. Now what else are you doing? Are you doing your supplements? Health with Liz, good to see you. You're doing your supplements. And you're doing your dosages. And you're doing the right supplements without the alcohol, without the MSG, without the natural flavors, without all that stuff. You know what was great about when people used to work with me one-on-one, right? Before the publications of the Medical Medium book series, one-on-one, the office would be filled. Okay, thousands and thousands of people coming to see me from all around. The waiting list was in the it was too far to count. And with that, when you got to me, you get to learn all this stuff. And every time I would see it, they'd be on a supplement that had alcohol. They'd have a supplement that had natural flavors. They'd have this bogus multivitamin, this bogus powder. They'd have this non-helpful whey protein powder, or something else. It was endless screw-ups. They'd be on the vinegar. They'd be on something else. They'd be on ACV. They'd be on nutritional yeast. They'd be on chocolate. They'd be on something that they were told to do. It was never ending out there. The charcoal, the fish oil, the everything. These are just some things, right? And the reason why people got better when they came to my office is because they were able to look at all the things I teach you guys every day and I put in the books. And they were able to look at it and be like, wow, so there's a system to this. I can heal. What else is ailing you guys? What do you got ailing you? What's plaguing you guys? Eczema. Knowing what to do is part of way of healing. Knowing what's wrong with you is the other part. How are you going to, the guessing games out there, I do know this, that medical medium tools escaped many, many years ago to a lot of different people. A lot of people with bigger platforms at the time, many, many years ago. A lot of people have taken some of the tools from medical medium, the low fat. It's one of the tools from originally from medical medium. There's a lot of other things that were medical medium. They took it and they give people some results, but there's always that stopping point. How can I get my eczema fully better? How can I get my trigeminal neuralgia fully better? How can I get my lupus fully better? How can I get out of the realm of being diagnosed with autoimmune? Get out of that and get the freedom. So that's important too. I think that shingles 6 years, grieving asthma, and feeling so much better after doing lots of your information. Dell, I'm honored you're here. Incredible. Dark circles under the eyes, 2 reasons. I saw that, dark circles under the eyes. One is not getting enough sleep, right? We can get dark circles under the eyes for not enough sleep. Many times I do 2-3 hours a night, 4 hours a night. There were times where I'd be lucky if I got 4 hours a night because I had the emergency hotline when I was doing the consultations for over 30 years before the publication of the books. Emergency hotline for doctors. So doctors would actually call my hotline service and I would be woken out of my bed 2-3 times a night, 4 times a night in the middle of the night from doctors asking me questions about their patients having emergencies with their own practices. And I didn't sleep. And I got some dark circles sometimes. I remember family members would be like, whoa, when's the last time you slept? I'd be like, I had 2 hours a night sleep for the last 14 days. But you know what helped me get through it? I was doing the celery juice. I was doing tools to counter it. What tools are you guys doing to counter stuff? You doing the heavy metal detox smoothie? What are you doing? What are you doing to counter stuff? Are you watching out for blood draws? Haven't done this to you guys in a while. On Clubhouse, I'm holding an arm in my hand and I have a syringe and I'm drawing blood from the arm. And you got to be careful about your blood draws. You got to listen to the Medical Medium podcast and Apple Podcast. Everybody here should be listening to those episodes again because you missed the information. You should study the information. The last 18 episodes, one of them being the blood draw episode, Medical Medium Podcast and Apple Podcast. That's the uncensored place, the Apple Podcast version. And you guys got to be careful with those blood draws because they'll take too much blood. Learn how to ask for half vials. Talk to your doctors. Protect yourself. Go into the doctor's office again then maybe and get another 2 vials. But learn how to protect yourself. They will bleed you dry. They'll bleed pregnant women dry. They'll injure babies and pregnant women because they'll take too much blood. And the baby's relying on mommy's blood. The baby's relying on mommy's blood to get everything the baby needs, and they take the blood away. The system is demented. It's set up like that. It's set up like that to hurt babies. I really believe it's on purpose because how can our smartest, most intelligent guys in the medical world miss that one by allowing that much blood be removed from pregnant women their whole trimester, all 3 trimesters? It has to be done on purpose because you're talking about highly intelligent men, educated women in the field of medicine, in the universities, blah, 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 medical universities. You mean to tell me somebody out of all those people just totally missed that? You're not supposed to be drawing that many vials of blood out of pregnant women? You mean to tell me someone didn't wake up one morning and realize that? If they didn't, then they're just complete idiots, right? They're complete idiots. They're not intelligent. You ever hear the term street smart? If they're not doing it on purpose, right? If it's not a diabolical scheme to completely weaken pregnant women's immune system so babies have trouble, if it's not a diabolical scheme, then what is it? It's just them being idiots? 100 years of modern day medicine, and they forgot for some reason you don't draw that many vials of blood out of pregnant women because you damaged the baby? You mean to tell me they just missed that one? If it really is that they just missed it and it's not for a diabolical reason at the top to hurt pregnant women and babies, then if they just missed it out of stupidity, then there is such thing as street smarts. There is. Because why do I have to be the one to actually deliver this information? Well, Spirit of Compassion gave it to me, so I can't take the credit. But street smarts matters. And there's some highly intelligent people that are highly educated, go to the best universities, they're highly educated. I'm one of the heads of the medical clinic. Yeah, okay. Oh, hey, I got somebody calling now. I got a friend. Hello? Uh-huh. It's Dr. Smith from Johns Hopkins, Sloan Kettering. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cleveland Clinic. Mayo Clinic. Mm-hmm. At Yale University. Yeah, we are the most highest educated professionals there are in the world. Oh, what? What do you mean we made a mistake? We're not supposed to take 16 vials of blood from a pregnant woman? Huh. 8 vials of blood? We're not supposed to take 70 milliliters from a pregnant woman? It puts the baby into shock? Hemorrhagic shock? We never tested that. We never did a study on hemorrhagic shock on little babies after taking 8 vials of blood every month from a pregnant woman. Well, we're highly educated here. I'm born and bred highly educated. Street smart? What do you mean? I can't change a tire. Okay, I'm gonna hang up here. Assholes. So anyway, the point is, you guys, and I know some incredible doctors who actually work in clinics. Those clinics specifically, I know incredible doctors. I know people on the board of medicine. I do. Some of them are really smart, street smart. They can combine their street smart with their education. But if they're not making the mistake of drawing out all that blood from pregnant women every month, putting the baby into mild hemorrhagic shock throughout its whole entire 9 months, then it's obviously done on purpose. It's obviously done on purpose. Keep people sick, take more blood. Keep people sick, take more blood. Keep people sick, take more blood. And that's how it's done. But one of my favorites is alternative medicine. You can't juice. You should not juice. You're throwing away all the fiber. This is an herbal extraction. Celery is not a vegetable. Did you guys know that? You guys know that. That's why you guys are the smartest community out there. You guys know information. You know about the blood draws. You're smarter. You guys are actually smarter than the top guys in the top clinics out there. You're smarter than them because you know you're not supposed to be drawing that much blood from pregnant mommies. You're already ahead of all those guys. Right? It's incredible. I just saw the sales at omegajuicers.com. It's the only place to get the juicer, $82 off, 25% off. It's the MM900 HDS. MM900 HDS is what it is. So let you know about that. You guys saw that. This is the pulp that came out. It's actually, that wasn't a magic trick. Smartest community anywhere. Dr. Sherry Green, incredible medical doctor. Sherry, do you want to come on and do a split live with me someday? I'll bring you on Instagram and we'll do a split live. And I'm going to have Dr. Fawn on. We'll do a split live with Dr. Fawn too. So that's the ball right there. That's the, see the ball in my hand? That's not a magic trick. I just juiced all that celery. That's not a magic, and it's dried to the bone. It's so dry, it air dried now at this point. Just air dried. Just because it's yeah. So, Luna, you're on TikTok this time? So guys, just letting you know the sale's done in a couple days. Keep it in mind. If you're using any juicer, I'm happy because it's a medical tool. I say that over and over again. And keep in mind the book's on sale, the new edition, the Medical Medium, revised and expanded. The knowledge is there. Cleanse the heel as well. It's the book is 49% off. All these things are important. So I just want to cover one last thing with you guys too, acids. What's happening with the acids, okay? Remember this. When you're told to do all this high fat and healthy fat, and it's okay to have a little bit in if you're not really sick or trying to heal, But if you're going to have the healthy fats in, remember that they're acidic, extremely acidic, fatty acids. You know who's the first person to actually let everybody know the fats were acidic? Spirit of Compassion. Telling medical medium, you guys know I don't have a college degree. You guys know I'm not a smart guy. Basically, I'm just a messenger of Spirit of Compassion's information. And I show it time and time again. Why else would I bring up the blood draw when nobody did on the planet? Why else would I bring up the 60 varieties of Epstein-Barr? And now medical science and research is now saying there's now 2 varieties of Epstein-Barr. They discovered another one after the publication of the Medical Medium book years later. How else would I know about long-haul COVID? How else would I know that? How else would I have told you that a year ago, a year and a half ago, right when the pandemic was starting, about how it's going to trigger everybody's Epstein-Barr? That was Medical Medium's information, and it was stolen by a podcast doctor without citing me, because if they don't cite me, then they stole it. You think it's because I'm a smart guy? Like I'm a genius. Yeah, I'm a genius. Sure. Yeah, I'll buy that one. That's a hard one to buy. I'd rather buy that Spirit of Compassion is talking to me since age 4. That's actually believable, not only because it's true down to every last part of it. Not only has it been a part of my family's heritage because of it, my dad still tells me stories of all the medical information I was speaking at age 5, age 6, talking about viruses. But to claim I'm a genius, that's not possible. I mean, yeah, I know a thing or two. That's about it. Does he still talk to me every single day? And he talks to me while I'm on here with you guys. He talks to me all the time. Every single day, all the time, every time I'm around anybody. When I wake up 4:30 in the morning, talks to me right when I wake up. And used to do a lot of readings in the middle of the night, which drove me crazy. So that used to happen all the time. So before somebody would come and see me, before someone would come to my office and see me many, many years ago, okay, the night before, Spirit of Compassion would be actually connecting me to that person. And I'd be doing a reading at 2 o'clock in the morning, half asleep. I would sit up in the bed, half asleep, listening to Spirit of Compassion, doing a reading on somebody that was coming to me the next day. And I didn't even know who was even on the schedule. So, yeah, SOC still talks to me. Many times I wish SOC didn't talk to me, but then how are we going to get the advanced information? How am I going to be able to message to you guys about the blood draw? Because I'm not smart enough to come up with that. No one else came up with that on the planet. I just woke up one morning and thought of it. No. So it's critical that we get this information out there. We preserve it someday. And Spirit of Compassion's information is going to be here long after I'm gone. And that's critical, that it's here. Because here's what's going to happen. All the crap and the trends and all the evildoers and everything else, it's all going to still be happening, and people are going to be sick down the road more than ever. This information needs to be preserved so people have a fighting chance and can heal and get better, and you can protect your friends and families. When it comes down to acids, fatty acids are extremely acidic. Turn your blood into acid. So say you're on the high-fat diet, say you're somebody on your high-fat vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, animal protein diet, and you think it's really healthy. You're on the way to yoga class, you have your coffee, and you've got all the acids happening from your coffee. You had your fatty dinner the night before, even if it seemed healthy. Your keto fatty dinner, whether it's plant-based or animal-based, right? Your blood is already acid in the morning. So now you have your yoga class. After your yoga class, you grab a kombucha tea. You just all of a sudden made your blood more acidy, because kombucha tea takes it to a dangerous level of blood acid. So now you had your kombucha tea. Later on, you have some lunch. You have some apple cider vinegar on a salad. Boom, you went into blood acid again. You had more fat. You went into blood acid again. It's Friday night. You're hanging out with some girlfriends, boyfriends. You're having a glass of wine. Boom, acid again. it's like we acid ourselves to death. We fat ourselves to death. Elevate says, how can I help with the information? How can we best share your information? I feel compelled to share, but want to do so with the most respect. Always giving credit and gratitude. I'm honored. Giving credit is incredible, because here's what you're doing. I'm going to tell you right now, when you give credit to medical medium information, what you're doing is you're helping somebody come back to where all the information is so they can go the full way with their healing. So you're saving a life. A lot of people say, I've been in the health field for years. I've been doing everything alternative for years. I saw 20 doctors, and if I didn't find medical medium information, I would have never gotten better. You hear that all the time. All the time. But we acid ourselves to death and we fat ourselves to death. I'm just letting you guys know. And nobody knows this. Even the hush-posh podcast doctors, even though Medical Medium Podcast, by the way, is the #1 podcast too out there. Okay? So it's a top podcast. It's been a #1 podcast, and I'm just letting you know. And so when I say podcast doctors with their #1 podcast, yeah. But the point is they'll be up there. They'll be stealing medical medium information to put in their podcast. They won't cite medical medium. And then they won't even know about how all that fat creates that much acid in the body and everything else with it. You know, so all that's important. BV Carl, good to see you. But listen to the blood draw episode when you guys get a chance. 2 days left on the sale for the MM900. The books, check them out when you can, right? Medical Medium Revised and Expanded. Medical Medium Cleanse to Heal. Check out Bimmergy supplements if you're somebody that's going to buy a cat's claw and you're about to buy one with alcohol, natural flavors, or whatever else is in there. Make sure you check out the best stuff out there. Ask your doctor if it's right for you. Does acid hurt your bones? Absolutely. You urinate your skull out of your bladder. I'm letting you know. Skulls shrink. The reason why when you're 60 years old or 55 years old, what happens is you can't play football anymore, because even if you got a football helmet on, you're gonna get a fracture easy on your skull, because everybody's skulls shrink. They urinated out their whole life. You peed your bones out of your body your whole life. Just letting you guys know that. And this is really an important lesson right here. Okay? So that's what happens. That's why when you're 65 years old and you land on the cement because you slip on some ice and your skull fracture is really easy. The reason why your skull got fragile, because it's thinner than it was. It's not as thick because you urinated the calcium, your bone, out. Because you had a very acidic lifestyle your whole life. Very acidic lifestyle your whole life. That's why. Lemons and limes are alkaline. They're not acidic. They're alkaline. The minute they touch the body, they create alkalinity. They're grown in calcium-rich soil. Lemon trees grow in sand. Calcium-rich sand. It's a sandy loam. So citrus trees grow in sandy loam. It drives up calcium from the earth, from the clay in the earth too, underneath there when it's not sandy loam. But it drives up, all this calcium comes up. So that's what citrus trees do. Especially like lemon trees, really high in calcium. That's alkaline, right? It's alkaline. So you're getting taught, you guys, to shrink your skull, but who cares, right? You're young and indestructible, who cares? You're young and indestructible, who cares? You're 22 years old, you're living your life, you don't feel any sick, you didn't get sick yet, you're running around, you're drinking your kombucha tea and you think you're eating pretty good and you got avocado toast going on and you're doing your YouTube channel, and who cares? You're not going to think your skull's shrinking. But your body leaches calcium. The acids force your body to release calcium. So all the fat you're doing from that keto plant-based diet and keto animal protein diet, all that fat you're doing is making your skull shrink over time. All the fat you're doing is making your teeth wear out. And then you're dropping in the coffee, then you're dropping in the apple cider vinegar, then you're dropping in other stuff, the kombucha tea. You're creating your bone broth. Your bone broth creates terrible acidic condition. Terrible. And then all that acid makes it so you're urinating your skull away. You're peeing your skull away, right into the toilet, every day. Time you're 60, you slip on that ice, you just broke your head open. And when you're 30, your skull is thicker. You didn't pee it all away yet. Slip on your back, it's a good chance you'll just get a concussion. Green tea is caffeine. So yeah, caffeine creates adrenaline. Adrenaline burns out your bones. It puts you in fight or flight when you're not supposed to be in fight or flight. Can bone shrinking be reversed? Yes, it can. It could be thwarted. Thwarted. That's what you want to do, because everybody's going to still do their vices. They're still going to have a slice of pizza. They're still going to have their sushi. They're going to still do their whatever. The sushi thing, I told you guys earlier, it just drives me crazy. I love when people think they ate healthy when they have their sushi. I love that. People think they're like seasoned in the health world. And they had sushi. They feel so like accomplished. They had mercury and vinegar and bad sugar. You know, it's just terrible. I love that one. Sushi, you know, it's like everybody's sushi. It's on YouTube and Instagram. Everybody's doing their sushi like it's like they're proud of themselves or something. They feel like so accomplished, so worldly. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, the acids. You leach the calcium. You can thwart it. Celery juice is one. Keeping your fats. That was me. That was me. Marissa, that was you. This is actually pretty funny. Inada says, can we talk heart health? I can talk heart health for a second. Yeah. Give you guys a little, just for a couple seconds on the heart health. Give you a quickie on that. The more fat, the more it builds up. The more plaque builds up. Just give you guys a quick rundown. When you're doing the fats year after year after year, day after day after day, and too much fats, and you're not getting a break, and that fat is really acidic, it has to collect somewhere. It collects over time inside the drain. And the drain is your arteries and veins. So it ends up collecting and staying inside the heart. That's just a quickie right there. Anyway, you guys, it's been great. So to stop bone loss, I'll give you this one last tip to stop bone loss, okay? Keep out some of the troublemakers. Keep out the milk, cheese, butter, eggs. That's a big one right there. Okay, they're so acidic, same thing happens. And the fat is really high in them. Keep that in mind. Keep out the apple cider vinegar and all the vinegars. Keep out the kombucha tea. Keep out the bone broth. These are all acidifiers. Big time, right? And these are just some of them. So be cautious to that level. If you're eating really healthy plant-based or animal protein, keep your fats low. Bring in citrus. That's how you break acidosis. That's how you break it. Bring your lemon, 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water every single morning. It's a medical medium tool. No one knew what lemon, people put lemon in water, but nobody knew what it did. They just put lemon in water. Medical medium information was the first to bring out that it flushes the liver, cleans out the liver, cleans out the body of toxins. That's what the 16 to 32 ounces of lemon water does. It's original info. Calcium's bioavailable. It's extremely alkaline. So what you do is you bring in that. That's one thing. Celery is your next step right there. Keep your fats low. No fats until noon. I love how they take medical medium information, which was no fats, no heavy foods up until noon, at least until noon. And now and then somebody took the intermittent fasting, but they just reworded it. So they took medical medium information from years ago. I actually know who did it. They took it, and then they created this intermittent fasting off of medical medium information. So when people walk around and they contribute to any benefits that intermittent fasting is giving them, they really should be like, whoa, thank you, MM. But it's done wrong. They're doing all the caffeine. They're going too long without eating anything to keep the blood sugar balanced. They're going too long without having the mineral salts, the trace mineral salts, and they're burning out the neurotransmitters, and that's the mistakes. There's some mistakes from it. And the reason why they're even getting any benefits on intermittent fasting is because they're getting off of the high fats in the morning, which is medical medium information. Does lemon eat away at your enamel? No, it doesn't. It protects your teeth and starts to provide calcium back into your teeth so they don't crumble. But apple cider vinegar will destroy the crap out of your teeth. Anyway, I love you guys. Take care. I'll see you next time. And God bless you guys. Be easy on yourselves. Love you.